Greetings of the day, student. Again, here we are gathered for PPS lecture 2. Yesterday we saw the introduction to the subject, right? So we saw what is the evaluation scheme of PPS subject, right? It has 4 credit, and we saw the course of PPS. What are we going to study throughout the semester? So today we are going to talk about introduction to the chapter, right? What is computer, how it was invented, what is its history, what are some basic parts of it, and what is its working, that way. Okay, so if you know something interesting, obviously as I've said, you can always comment into our post or Google Classroom. Okay, so you can share it with the whole class. Now, if we talk about computers, so as the name suggests, it was mainly invented for the computation in the sense calculation. So computers were not invented for the task they are doing today. Actually, they are transmitting the data, they are doing banking transaction, they are providing education. Like right now we are studying on a computer, or you are listening to me, I am talking to you. They were not invented for this task. Basically, they were just invented for doing calculation, simple calculations like a calculator. So yeah, they were mainly invented tool for computation. That's why its name is computer. And obviously we know the areas of application of computers. They are limitless. So I'm not gonna mention like banking, insurance, etc., etc. You can name it yourself, or you can think about it. But two major components of computers are hardware and software. Obviously, what you can touch and feel on a laptop or personal computer is a hardware, and what you cannot touch and feel is known as software. What you can just see and interact with is a software, right? And then it is the most rapidly growing area of current generation. If you have just seen, personal computers were invented in 1980. पहला पर्सनल कंप्यूटर IBM ने 1980 में इन्वेंट किया था, उन्होंने मार्केट में रखा था. तब से लेके आज तक अगर हम देखें तो इट हैज जस्ट बीन 40 इयर्स. उसको सिर्फ 40 साल हुए हैं. तब वाला कंप्यूटर और आज वाले कंप्यूटर में देयर हैज बीन मैसिव डिफरेंस. So you can say it's a most rapidly growing area of current generation, most rapidly growing research area basically, if I want to be very sure. इसमें जो research हो रहा है वो बहुत rapid है. If we just talk about a normal fingerprint sensor in a mobile phone, so mobile phones were, I mean, dream for people in 2010 only, just 10 years ago. And just today you see the market of mobile phone. We know how what market of mobile phone is, right? So it is one type of computer only. Right now the mobile phones have RAM of 4 GB and 8 GB. Okay, what is RAM we'll talk about in the next few slides. But just to mention, it is the most rapidly growing area of current generation, and it will be for a decade or so, right? So generations of computer, we'll talk about the brief history of computer from where it started, where the programmable computers starting to build. So that was the first generation, and up to the first generation which we are living right now. That we will see in next few slides, right? Before that, what are the simple components of the computer? There are software and hardware. As I said, hardware is what you can touch and feel, what is inside a normal computer, and software is with which user interacts. User generally interacts with the software. We cannot manipulate the hardware inside a computer, right? We don't have to manipulate the hardware inside a computer. We just have to give commands to a software, and software will do that. If you want to shut down a computer, obviously you generally don't press a button to shut down a computer. You give a command to the computer to shut down its machine, and computer will power up itself, right? A simple example for interaction of user with software and software's interaction with hardware. And then we have its invention timeline. Okay, the computer, as I said, was invented for mainly calculating or some basic calculations. So first basic calculator we can see was around 1100. That was abacus. Abacus is like it has 10 columns, and 10 columns has some elements in it, red elements, as you can see on the screen, right? So they were mainly used for, I mean, resembling the, yeah, this is the abacus which I am highlighting on the screen, right? So they were, I mean, resembling our fingers. We have 10 fingers, and in earlier days people were used to count on their fingers. So abacus resembles same. They say it was invented in China, but nobody knows the actual origin of abacus. It was used in Asia also, China and northeastern Europe and those countries. but yeah, nobody knows its origin. Then we slightly moved to the mechanical calculator around 1642. Okay, which was not very efficient, which used to do the small calculations regularly to the less calculation. It was very big in size. And then we had first good computer, which was Charles Babbage's computer in 1830. Charles Babbage's computer is very interesting and in subject to study. If you want more detail of it, you can obviously search online. Why we are saying history of computers is you should always know from where things originated. It's always interesting, and it's always good to know that what we are studying, how we are studying, and why we are studying, right? And then one important thing was ENIAC. ENIAC was invented in 1947. What's good about ENIAC is it was the first computer that could be programmed, and its full form is Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. Right? It is important. These questions are asked mainly in so many general knowledge exams, which was the first programmable computer. So I think it's very well known, and you might be knowing it. But yeah, ENIAC was the first programmable computer. And then we had transistors and microprocessors. So it all started reducing the size of computer from 1947 onwards, when the ENIAC was invented. ENIAC was around the size of a room. We all know the first computer was around the size of a room, so it was very bigger in size. And then came the era of personal computer. As I said, IBM's personal computer was around invented in 1980, so it has been nearly 40 years. And yeah, then World Wide Web was invented in 1990. So till 1990, we didn't had internet connections. Computers were not connected. So internet is even younger than personal computers. So it has been a very rapidly growing area, right? And so, yeah, so here we start with the first generation. As we said, it is from first generation to fifth generation. So first generation computers were invented around 1940 to 1956. Obviously, it is a very rough area. It is not, it is said and it's done. 1940 to 1956 is a rough period. It can be 1940 to 1960 maybe. Books to book, it varies from books to books. But yeah, area is fixed around 1940 to 1960. Right. So how those computers were built? They were built using vacuum tube and thermonic valve machines. These are mechanical things, right? But they were very big in size because of this vacuum tube. If I give example of vacuum tube, you might have seen old TVs which had a very big back. Right now we are using LCD and LEDs, which are very flat TVs. But in earlier days, if you have seen an old TV, or if you have an old TV at home, right, they have vacuum tube behind it. Obviously, so this is how they put pixels on the screen. So those computers are very big in size. First computer ENIAC was around the size of a room, right? So inputs in his system was based on punch cards. They had punch cards. You can see in the video how ENIAC was operated. There are very good videos available on the internet, right? So they had punch cards to give inputs to the computer. Right now we give inputs through keyboard and mouse. Similarly, they had punch cards, and it was only working on zeros and ones. Right? It was programmable computer, but it was only working on zeros and ones. And examples are ENIAC, ADVAC. Okay, so there are so many similar computers, but it was very nice first generation of computers. And yeah, this is the photo of ENIAC. Okay, so it was a very big in size. You can see just its interface and its operating things, but it was really big in size. And then we jump to the second generation computer. Its period came from 1956 to 1963. It's very small period, you can see, or it's around period of 10 years, 1960 to 1970, etc. in some books. Then we have some upgradation, like they were built using transistors, not from vacuum tube. Transistors were invented after ENIAC's birth, and the computer started to grow small in size. As I said, it was smaller in size, and the time taken was very lesser. Okay, it could do calculations very fast. वो अपनी calculation बहुत ही fast कर सकता था. And output were displayed on printouts. Earlier screens were not very good to display outputs, so they choose papers to display their outputs. And transistors were high in reliability than vacuum, and it reduced the maintenance of a computer. Earlier computers had to have ice and fans to cool their I mean most rapidly working parts. Obviously we still have a fan in our laptop and personal computer. If you notice, there is a small fan which is used to cool things around the CPU, right? So this is a second generation computer. This is what it looks like from earlier computer. As we can see, it is of the size of one room. So now we can see that size has been reduced a bit, right? Yes. Now we jump to the third generation of computer. It is also of around 8 to 9 years of period, 1962 to 1971. And now from transistor we move to the integrated circuit. It was built in integrated circuit. Integrated circuit is uh, consists of more than one transistor. You can fit more than one transistor in it, so computer size grow more smaller than the one. In second generation computer, it was around 2 to 3 tables. Now it grew more lesser in size. It could be fitted on a single table, right? Again, its size was smaller and time taken for calculation was very lesser. It could do very good programming things like BASIC, Fortran, COBOL, which were not very high level languages, yeah, but it were very useful. And commercialization was done. Until now, it was a tool for research, but now its commercialization was done, and it could be used in big companies and all. But still, it wasn't used by personal people or personal computer. Okay, so this was the third generation computer. Looked like a PC that we could handle, but yeah, it was very big in size. It was around fitted on a single table, but yeah, very big in size. But similar to the personal computer. Now, fourth generation computer, the period was around 1972 to 2010. Almost most invention was done after IC was invented, so it was a period time around 30 to 35 years. And it was developed using microprocessor technology. So after IC circuits, the technology came for microprocessors. So microprocessors are the tool on which so many ICs are fit, right? So this is how the things are being invented: vacuum tube, then transistor, then IC, then we have microprocessor technology. So they are very small in size, obviously smaller than the previous one, third generation. They're portable, you can carry them around. Till now computers were not being carried around where we go, right? So it was reliable and they were really accurate and fast. So you can say it was fast compared to the previous one, but not as fast as we are using right now. And it was excellently managed in terms of cost and you can say heat. As the computer size grows smaller, you can manage heat because of the microprocessor thing. Microprocessor does not produce so much heat or temperature. Okay, and this is the era where personal computer things begin. So IBM developed first personal computer in around 1981, as we saw, which was really good, right? So this was something what looked like a fourth generation computer, what we are using right now, even because it was around 2010. So still some people are using fourth generation computer, fourth generation PC, but yeah, its processor have been improved. It looked like this, wireless mouse and wireless keyboard, but yeah, its processors improved. And if you talk about fifth generation computer, again roughly area is 2010 to till that. In future it will come sixth generation. Some people are mentioning that it's a sixth generation computer, seventh generation computer. Yeah, the generations are growing, but it's a again, it's like a changing thing from country to country, technology to technology. So if we go by book, we are right now in the fifth generation of computer. From 2010 till now, it is growing, right? So we are still using microprocessor, but they are highly configured microprocessor, and we have managed its heat and speed capability. Speed is increasing day by day. Right now we have very high capacity computer. So now it's up to the RAM and ROM, how much you can store and how much you can process. As we go from fifth generation computer, the size cannot grow, I guess, more smaller than this because it will be very uncomfortable for users to use it. So it will be now mostly about how fast the computers are and how much data it can store. And some advanced computers are AI, parallel processing, ML, those things are using, I mean, simply Google Assistants. You are using Google Assistant, right? So these are the some fifth generation computer devices. Okay, so this was the history of computer. There are very good books available regarding history of computers. You can read it, you can watch the videos about history of computer, but it's very nice and it's very interesting to know about the history. Okay, so from next lecture we'll study about block diagram computer. Today we'll keep it to this only. Okay. Yeah, have a nice day.